Welcome back to Dry Arabia for another casted game. On the east side of the map in the pink this time we have Whamen as the Holy Roman Empire, and on the west side in the red we have Crispy Duck as Zhu Xi's legacy. I'm really pumped to be doing another casted game for you. It's been a little while since I've got behind the mic for this because I've been grinding the ladder like a crazy person, but we are back and I think this is going to be a really interesting one. If you don't already know, you live under a rock. Whamen QT streamer, really fun to watch, massive in the community, setting up tournaments and all that kind of stuff, so make sure you go and check her out on Twitch. The info will be in the description and all of that good stuff. Now let's talk about scouting because that's what we're watching at the moment. So Crispy has gone for what I would probably say is the standard scouting path on Dry Arabia. Maybe it's, you know, a little bit of an old style because since they made tweaks to the sheep and how many you start with, you can be slightly more aggressive. But so just going straight to the middle, across to the side and then getting that corner, whether that's going to pay off for him compared to Whamen's, let's say, slightly unorthodox scouting path where she's gone kind of all the way off to the side. At the moment it looks like she's been very lucky and she's still managing to get quite a few sheep there, and she is keeping an eye. We can see there she's ducking down to get the sneaky one hiding by the edge of the map. So at the moment fairly even on the sheep count. Now I'm kind of surprised actually that neither player's gone for a double scout opening, because in this matchup you kind of have the same logic. So since they made the changes to the scouts where they're cheaper and they produce a little bit faster, the investment is a lot less, and for both of these players they should assume one playstyle would be going pro scouts because both of these civilizations love to do that. The other option would be to go fast castle, and if you get two scouts and you can get majority of the sheep on the map, then you also can deny the fast castle better, forcing them to go out on food and all of that stuff. So actually I'm kind of surprised that neither has gone for two scouts, whichever plan they're going for, but that's where we are. I think two scout opening is something that maybe might start to see a rise if we see pro scouts getting a little bit of a tweak. But anyway, let's take a look at the Archon Chapel. So we got a nice beacon over here. So basically it covers the berries. Now I don't think it covers the stone. So now there is a mining camp here. So I'm imagining that Whamen is probably going to be going to TC. Not sure, not seen that, but I think this Archon, it's fine, it's okay. I think having it against the wood is obviously the main priority. Having it somewhere safe is also a priority if you're planning on going late game, which as HRE often you tend to do. And the gold at the front, you know, if you put it over here it's just going to be super exposed. So you know, it's a 5 out of 10, more spawn related than anything else. There's not really a better place that you could put it, and I think maybe over here where you'd also get the stone, but I don't know, we'll see. But 2TC, I'm interested to see how that plays. I kind of expected either a super fast castle or pro scout, so it's always nice to be surprised. Now, if we take a little look over at the meditation gardens, now you'll have seen with the scouting that Crispy hasn't scouted all around his base, so he kind of just had to go for the nearest and dearest, what he thought would give him the most. So it's gonna just about cover. If we switch over, we might be able to see the radius. There we go. So it's got the stone, it's got all of the berries, and it's got this gold. So good to remember with the gold and the stone, as long as it touches anywhere within this square you get the full bonus. So it's not about how much you cut off with the aura. I don't think actually there's really a better place for it potentially. You can't really get any gold, so golden food I think is a very good shout. That does give me the impression maybe we'll be going fast castle, but no, with the stables going down, I think we all know what's going to be coming. There's going to be some scouts, and I think there's going to be some deer taken off the map. So, as we can see, Whamen has macroed all the way up, almost ready to drop her TC, and from where they're walking, I'm guessing we're going to be seeing a deer drop over here. So, that's one way to deny pro scouts is, I guess, to just put a TC on it. So, if we take a look, we can see here that Whamen is still pretty heavy on wood, just remacroing there. And what? Hello, where are you going? What? Is it going on that deer? Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going on this second deer pack over here, and then potentially, right, walling in these other deer. Okay, I don't hate it. I think that's pretty good. It also kind of secures up this gold a little bit. The TC also extends that emergency repair network, which is also very, very nice. Pro Scouts has come in. It should have been supervised, so that means it should get out a little bit faster, and we're going to see the Scouts pumping out super quickly, because with that supervision they come out in 9 seconds, which is just absolutely insane. So going for the safe deer pack here, which I think is okay. Definitely, if we'd seen this TC going up, I think Crispy would definitely want to try and nick as many of these as possible, because giving HRE 2 free deer packs kind of feels bad when you've paid for Pro Scouts. I think this is the thing with the Pro Scouts, that if you're not getting the deer, you're not getting the value from it. So I think actually, you know, as unorthodox I think as the 2TC is, Whamen may have actually come onto a genius stroke with this spawn, because now using a little scout to push these in, it's going to deny 2 full packs, which I think is yeah, that's great. Crispy is not going to be very happy with that at all, but the deer are being dropped off at the mill. So, oh no, he hasn't switched off from sheep. Quick, move the villagers, get that juicy venison. And we also want to be seeing survival techniques, which we don't have just yet. So we definitely want to be supervising that and moving over to the deer. So hopefully, there we go. So it looks like they're just going to use up the sheep first and go over there. Now, Whamen super heavy on food at the moment, and wood has shifted away, so it looks like we're going to be transitioning into castle, a cheeky naked castle. Love to see it. We've got 7 on gold at the moment, so with the inspiration there, that's going to go up very, very nicely. And this is also good, I think, from Whamen here. We know that she's a HRE enjoyer, and going for this means that these 7 are max inspired. So the prelates can, I think, inspire up to maybe 8 maximum. So having 1 extra and producing them from your TC when you've got a load like this is actually really, really good. So it really maximizes that economy. And if we switch over, if I use my little religious unit hotkey, oh, a little bit of micro there. God, check you out, Whamen. And the other one is over here inspiring the deer. Now, we don't have survival techniques. With 2 deer packs, you'd kind of expect that, but oh, couple of horsemen here. That's going to cause some troubles over by this TC. And Whamen already reacting, going to be making some spears, hopefully, to put a stop to this. But garrisoning up the TC is also going to get rid of these horsemen fairly quickly. But is Whamen going to lose it? Oh, the TC's full. This is the problem. Since they reduced it to 8, the second TC's not going to do it. And 1 villager down. First villager of the game, but I don't know if it's worth it losing 2 horses for that. I think it's yeah, I especially on 2TC, I don't think sacrificing those is really the best idea. But a nice little security wall coming up here. Some more horsemen coming over to ruin Whamen's day. But we do have wheelbarrow and textiles, so she's going to be ready to flee from those raids as quickly as she needs to do. Now, the problem that Crispy has here, apart from trying to do this, yeah, see, here we go. So we've got the scouts, they're coming, trying to nick as much venison as they possibly can to try and get value from that investment of Pro Scouts. But Whamen has got her super speedy spearmen. Obviously these guys get free marching drills, so you really don't want to have one of these guys chasing your scouts, because look how quickly they catch up. Most civilizations really struggle to get the deer, even when the speed has been nerfed in the recent patches. But HRE don't have that problem, because they are super speedy boys. So that deer gets denied, and the wolf's going to get taken down for extra measures. So we can see here that the villager numbers are starting to build slowly for Whamen, but it looks like Crispy is just about to hit castle age, so slightly before that. And we've got some more stone, whether that's for emplacements, not so sure. But as expected from Zhu Xi, we're going Shaolin Monastery. There's no point going Song Dynasty. I think this is the right call. Trying to nick relics from HRE always feels super good. So if we see that, and we can also see a couple of stables going down, so it looks like we're going to be seeing the classic Zhu Xi Knight Lancer push. Knights, Lancers, you know, potato. But now we've got some spears coming out to defend and to annoy these scouts. I think Whamen also positioning her spears ready to try and deny some of these relics as well, as she's trying to rush her way all the way up to castle. We got a couple of towers coming up defensively, which also will be nice little relic spots if she manages to get any. We got a nice safe relic at the back if we talk about the relic spawn as well. Both players have got one in their base, and then the three are actually pretty evenly split across the map. So I think actually this is one of the fairest spawns I've seen. But Crispy is in the castle age. Do we see a monk out? We got one. Let's take a goosey gander. Where are we? Oh, going for the safe relic first. Okay, with all these units on the field, I think that's probably a smart choice. And now Whamen counter-attacking, getting those wall villagers down, and the spears charging in, trying to get his venison out to defend, but that's not quite done the job as the spears come in. Another villager down now, equal kills, but with that 2 TC, Whamen's economy is going to be going nuts very, very soon, especially with the inspiration from these extra prelates. Now, as Whamen goes up, we should also see these prelates shifting out ready to grab relics immediately. So, because Regnitz is coming up, as she's doing a really good job of denying these, denying the pickup of these relics, trying to make sure these spearmen are put to good use. So, seeing these guys running around, oh no, we're not going to see another villager go down, are we, for Crispy? Oh, poor Crispy. Oh no, that's another Crispy duck, and the monk is now doing some kung fu. We've got some Shaolin kung fu against the HRE spears, but I don't think he's going to be able to survive this. The knight's coming in, but yeah, I don't think these spearmen are going to survive the full thing, but denying that drop off of that relic, I think, is also still really, really good. And also good to remember with these Shaolin monks that they don't actually heal your army, they only heal themselves, so they are not that useful in terms of healing up your army and keeping them alive. But Whamen losing a few spears here and there, her mass starting to go, and I think she's, yeah, going to have to retreat, especially with the Chuganu added into the mix. But we're rushing up to castle with the Regnitz wherever we are over here, and if we take a little look at the prelate watch, we got one relic already picked up in the bag, the other one's still in the Archon, making sure that eco is nice and buffed up. It is also not quite covering these, but remember with the inspiration, it does cover you as long as they walk inside it. Even when they're outside, you can see these guys are still glowing, which is very nice. The Lancers coming in, trying to annoy Whamen as she's getting her upgrades. The Spearmen not quite gonna cut the bacon. What am I even talking about? They're not going to quite cut it because they're still quite feudal, so this number of Lancers can take them out, but I think Crispy's going to have to be really careful, because if he loses this Knight Mass and then Whamen can keep producing these spears with the defender's advantage, I think that's going to be a real problem for him a little bit later on. And the TC peppering those Lancers, and here we go, even with a couple of Chuganu, I really don't think that push was worth it. One villager down, killing a load of spears, but losing all of your Lancers. That feels painful. So we've got some more HRE tower defense games going on. Whamen walling up on the other side as well, securing up her side of the map. A couple of gold veins and the deer packs over here. So nice little bit of mill micro, making sure that she's not long distance gathering them from the other side of Timbuktu, which we always like to see. So let's take a little look at the relic watch. How many do we have for each? Now, Zhu Xi's always bugged, so I'm trying to find the monastery. Let's shift over and use my hotkeys. Where are we? So we've got one relic. Okay, so just the one. But we are going to pick up another one with this Shaolin monk there. So Whamen at the moment has one, hasn't picked up this safe one, so I imagine she's going to be trying to go out and get one of the other ones. With Regnitz, if you can't get three, it does feel kind of bad. But let's take a little look at Whamen's side. So we're inspiring the villagers, and that's it with the Archon. So it doesn't look like she's going to be pushing for those relics at the moment. Maybe because of the units that are out, she wants to mass up. That could be the play. But luckily we do have a lot of gold secured, so it's not the end of the world. But on the other side, we've finally got survival techniques. I think at this stage it's probably a little bit late with all that venison that has already gone. But we do see the Jiangnang Tower, which means we're going to be seeing the Song Dynasty coming up, which tells me the deer's running out and Crispy is thinking about his farm transition. So he's going to want to get those cheaper eco buildings, and we're going to be seeing some granaries. Now, if they're not dropped back here, then I might as well be a Crispy duck, because that seems like the perfect spot. And dropping a granary next to a load of berries you can gather up also feels really, really nice. So at the moment, a lot of Chuganu, which against Castle HRE feels like a strange choice. I think a couple against the spears was a good idea, but now that Whamen's got HRE men at arms, which are faster, yeah, I'm not sure that composition's going to cut it, but we'll have to wait and see. I really would love to see Whamen picking up this relic. Obviously, she's got other things that she's focusing on. She's getting some stone for emplacements because, you know, HRE doing HRE things. And we're also very heavy on food. So it looks like we've got the farm transition coming in. Really nice placement around here that's going to get this food eco buffing up. So yeah, we might be seeing an Imperial from Whamen. I think we can see from the macro that looks like what's happening. Defensive forces over in the old proxy base by Regnitz over here. And it does look like the other relic has been picked up. Now, who has it? I think it's probably, yeah. So Crispy Duck managed to get 3 against HRE. That feels very, very good for him. Oh, and a cheeky keep in the HRE base. Love to see it. So the spears are coming in. The men-at-arms running away from the Chuganu. No, no, no. Get them. Go, 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 go. Okay, but Whamen playing defensively. This is the right call. I'm obviously want to see the aggression, want to see the fights, but a nice little keep and a proxy siege workshop. Now, I don't hate a proxy siege workshop to get your siege out when you can't build them on the field like Abbasid or Ayabid, but I think building them literally one screen's width away from their TC and emplacements and all of their production, that feels a little bit too greedy, but you know, I guess that's how Crispy likes to play it. He likes to live on the edge, massing up outside of this base over here, not actually doing any damage to the main base. So this, I think, maybe might be Whamen's savior here. This super safe eco over here, and the 83 villagers against 50. So as we're in castle, I should have done it a while ago. Let's click over to income because now we can see the big difference here. Because HRE doesn't just have more villagers, it's also got the inspiration, which makes such a massive difference. And Whamen is doing a really good job of getting a eco text, which really does make a huge difference. Now, we do have the Song Dynasty, but I don't see any granaries, so I'm not sure why we've gone for that. We've got a lot of stone, unless he's planning on going for a couple of TCs to try and catch up with the HRE villagers. We do have a Treb out now, trying to work on these buildings. What are we attacking? The TC, okay. Emergency repairs already been popped on the tower, which means now the TC can't be used for a while. I think the cooldown, we got about a minute, but we got some double Treb action. Let's just get rid of all the UI and we can watch these guys play. So yeah, Whamen trebbing the keep, Crispy trebbing the TC, and then all of the HRE units just waiting, massing up, ready for a big fight. So let's have a look at the composition while we're just chilling and doing a little bit of sieging. So we've got over here, we got the Shaolin monks, we got lancers, we got a couple of crossbows and Shuganu that are just maybe thinking about pushing in. Second Treb coming in for both players. It's not exactly a proxy siege workshop when it's in Whamen's base, but she's got one over here as well. Now, this TC not getting repaired up, a couple of villagers doing it, but I think 2 Trebs is going to take that down pretty quickly. But for the extra 40 villager lead, I think that's probably still worth it. Is Whamen going to get it in time? Looks like it. All of the villagers pulled, going to heal that up, hopefully get enough health on that for her so she can get the emergency repairs on it. So big fight coming in here. It looks like the composition for Whamen might have this one in the bag with all those men at arms, but if there's too many spears, the Chuganu are going to be able to make work of those as well. So there we go, emergency repairs popped on the TC, keeping that alive. And oh no, Crispy's missing this. I think those Trebs are going to go down. The men at arms and spears are doing a lot of damage. 1 Treb down. The buildings now, I think, are no longer at risk, and Whamen's Trebs are working on these keeps, but the crossbows and Chuganus really made work of those guys, and now I think the tables have turned and the Trebs are going to be saying goodbye. So if we take a little look at the military, 37-9, so Whamen is really, really low on units at the moment. Her eco is absolutely popping, so this is where she's got to make sure she can spend it, and there's a lot of gold in the bank, even with only 2 relics. So we did pick up the other one. Yay, we got 2 relics, awesome. So we got a mangonel, gonna have to be really careful to keep that alive because the Chuganu fire so quickly. The the mangonels are going to get taken out pretty sharpish. So we do have a lot of idols, 16 idols. So Whamen just going to be re-macroing another trebuchet coming out, trying to get rid of this keep. So, but as we were expecting, yeah. Oh, okay. Forward TC. Not sure that's where I put it, to be perfectly honest. I think maybe at the back where it's safe over here probably is a better shout. But, you know, what do I know? If we take a little look, emergency repairs popped, keeping these towers alive with all those emplacements. That's going to make it very difficult for them to push in. So this slow siege down, I think, is the logical choice. But as the longer this goes on, I think the better this is for Whamen with the eco. And if we see, we've got double horticulture, double food upgrade, double wood upgrade, no mining ones, and I think with the amount that we've got on gold, I think that's the logical choice. You know, the first one probably is okay, whereas I think on the other side it looks like I think Crispy's gone for the wrong upgrades. I would say definitely those two are much more valuable. So the keep has gone down, and this is where potentially Whamen might be able to push if she can get the numbers, but this many trebs, I think Crispy's going to have to be really careful now. This is a lot of resources. If we take a little look, that's 550 per treb. So these are really going to do a lot of damage, take down a lot of these buildings, even the production. But yeah, if you can't protect them, it's going to be a real danger there. So Whamen also got quite a few trebs on the back, but I don't know if spears into Chuganu and crossbows. I'm not sure that's it. Those guys getting taken out pretty quickly, but I think Whamen's trying to get a good shot off on that mangonel. But we do have some nest of bees. There's one cheeky one hiding here, just chilling by the trebs, and these buildings are going down. So Whamen's going to have to rebuild her production somewhere a little bit safer and sacrifice that TC. But we're at 108 versus 65, so at the moment I think she's chilling, almost max villager pop, and then can just pump out those those units. And eco wise, she's significantly stronger than Crispy at the moment. So I think this is where Crispy's either got to start building that eco in the background, like with potentially with this granary transition, like to see it, but also pushing in. So this is really great, but I don't know, I wouldn't worry too much about this. I'd be going for the eco. That's yeah, and I think pushing from this side also is allowing Whamen to shift out onto different resources. So we've got some straggler wood, some stealth forest gathering over here. We've got these, and there we go. Whamen doing a good job there, pulling that relic out, making sure that she keeps those to keep that income coming in. Regnit's just coming down now, so first landmark down of the game, and it looks like Crispy is going to start trying to push in now. There are still some towers, still some nice little ground attack there from Whamen, using those trebs to do as much damage as possible, even if it's against the units. But this ranged mass with the nest of bees, 3 nest of bees, I don't know if Whamen's going to be able to take this fight. Those nest of bees are going to shred. Oh no. But the mangonels on the back, trying to get those huge shot from the mangonels there. Oh, this is, if Whamen can get a couple more good shots on this, this might just turn the tide on this big fight, and this is where the siege is going to make a big difference. Another mangonel hiding behind this tower, which we can just see the nest of bees getting hit. 1 nest of bees down, 2 nest of bees down, there's another one in, some lancers coming in to make sure they can get rid of these, and this is, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what to say. Mangonel getting caught, another double mangonel on the backside. And it looks like there's 1 nest of bees still surviving, but another huge hit on the ranged mass. And it looks like Whamen has just about managed to offset that, but still a huge number of units on the Zhu Xi side compared to the HRE side. So I don't think these villagers were supposed to come in for those lancers. Another mangonel popping out just by those lancers, trying to get rid of these Chuganu in the base and to push out. And if we can get on top of these trebs and nest of bees, that's going to be a good situation for Whamen. I think Crispy definitely wants to heal up these nest of bees before they get taken out, but lancers now getting on top of these crossbows, trying to do that, but these armored units are melting very, very quickly. I think maybe some horsemen at this stage could work really well for Whamen. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of a shift, but I hope we're not going to be too aggressive with these mangonels because they're quite expensive. There we go, pulling those back. I think that's the right call. There we go. So we can also see the sacred sites are ticking. We've only got 2 down, so that's not actually a win condition just yet, but Crispy's got the bottom one. He's also camping on the top one here. A lot of low health units, so even though this number looks pretty strong, they're all very low health. So if Whamen can take one really good engagement, I think that's going to be really, really good for her. So this second TC is, I was just about to say is pumping. It's not actually making villagers at the moment, but you know, I probably just caught it at the one time where it isn't. Let's just switch over just to double check. But the gap is slowly being bridged. Whamen, I think, almost at villager pop now, and we can see the Zhu Xi granary transition is almost done. Oh no, let's hope it's not shift queued wrong and this granary doesn't get built. That's a lot of buff that we're going to be losing there. So I hope Crispy knows that that's not the case. I'm not sure. We'll check back to see whether it's going to be a 2 or a 3 granary transition. Let's hope he there we go. He knows what he's doing. Never doubt the Crispy Duck. So we've got a keep and we're going out on this other boar. So Whamen making sure she's stealing all of that food. There's still a deer mark here, so there's one lonely deer just chilling over in Whamen's base, and we can see the HRE forces are now moving into position. We've got a keep coming up by the keep, a bit of keep on keep action, and we've also got a cheeky little tower here. So yeah. Okay, so trying to get the sacred site, I think this is a good call from Crispy. If he can get that, it's going to force Whamen out. This is where the sacred sites make a big difference, not just for the income, because they are, you know, a lot of gold per minute, but it does force you out of your base. At the moment, Whamen is just chilling. She's setting up her farm transition. Her eco is absolutely pumping, and she's living her best life, ready to drop. What? I don't think we want Swabia, do we? I think Elsbach probably is what we're going to get, but, you know, we'll wait and see. You never know. Whamen might have some crazy Swabia strat up her sleeve. We'll just have to wait and see. But Elsbach, there we go. Defensive Elsbach in the base. This is going to make it very, very difficult for them to push. With the bonus that it gives extra building health and keeps, it's just, yeah. This is going to make their life a lot more difficult, and dropping keeps in the radius is also going to help Whamen out as well. So Imperial coming in and Imperial HRE, those units start to get very, very scary. It's, yeah, and with the eco, it looks like Crispy's really pumping. He's making a lot of units, but what's he going to do now? Is he going to stick it out in Castle and try and take it before Whamen gets the full, you know, the full might of the Imperial Empire, because you do need to spend a lot of gold to get those upgrades. We saw her gold drop massively there just to get this elite men-at-arms upgrade, 700. Then we've got university techs, we've got eco techs. So this is where it's going to be really important that Crispy tries to either do some damage or match the tech up. But we've got a couple of low health nest of bees. We've got a lot of nest of bees actually. So these guys, if we can keep them alive, are going to do a huge amount. But I don't think Trebs at the front of the army is the right call here, but let's shift this away. Are we doing some Treb on Treb? There we go. A little bit of Treb sniping going on. Love to see it. We've got a notification coming on. We can see some men-at-arms here doing a nice little bit of raiding on the gold villagers. A tower there on that gold to try and block that. A keep on the other side blocking this stone from Whamen. And here we go. Crispy trying to circle round, focusing on these towers. Again, not a huge amount of real damage there, and Whamen is really starting to pump out her units now, so I think this is where the mass is starting to get a little bit scary for Crispy, and with those upgrades. So, oh no, the Trebs at the front, this is what I was saying, they got caught out. Nest of bees there on the side, and in the units trying to do a lot of damage. This is really good, but Mangonel's on the back. Oh, sniping out those nest of bees. Really nice little bit of micro there from Whamen. All the nest of bees have gone down. The siege mass from Crispy has been taken out, and now he's trying to kite like his life depends on it, because it very much does. Villagers on this front gold are not pulling away. That's a lot of damage there for Whamen as she's pulling in, and these units are making quick work of these crossbows. I can never tell the difference between crossbows and chuganus. That's why I keep highlighting them. So, you know, a villager running into the front lines. We always love to see the valiant effort to defend the Empire. But now Whamen is on the attack, using her mangonels to destroy these front proxy buildings. Double front blacksmith. Okay, not exactly what I would expect to see, but you know, I guess that's how Crispy rolls. Yes, that's a Crispy roll. Yeah, good joke from me. Well done. We got Dali horses coming in with no real horses on the field, so not sure that's the best call. Usually you'd like to see your upgrades in after you have the units. So Beastie talked a lot about in some of his videos about this, where if you're going to get the upgrade before you have the units, you're better off just making units. And if you've got like Royal Knights of Chivalry, that kind of jazz. But we can see Crispy's moved his production. He's shifted his rally point over here to this keep and the sacred site, but Whamen is going to be denying that front one. So let's hope she can decap that. That's also going to help her to deny a bit of eco from him. And we do see the Zhu Xi's library going up, and we've got another full front production base. Not sure exactly why we're going out here when we have all the space in the base, but we'll see. We've also got a side production base from over here, but wow, but everyone loves just having these proxy bases. We're both in Imperial now, and if we take a little look at the Zhu Xi's library, this is where we've got all of these nice juicy techs. Here we go. So you can only choose so many of them, so it's going to be interesting to see which ones Crispy goes for as he defends from the mass that's coming across. But he's got to be really careful now. He's in Imperial, needs to get those upgrades and needs to be massing up. But Whamen's still ahead, 125 villagers against 90, and a lot of idols for Crispy, so his eco is severely lagging behind Whamen now. We've got the infantry mass coming into the base, trying to get these down, and the mangonels and the trebs. Now, since the siege change, I think the mangonels are really nice because they do such a nice bit of damage to buildings as well. We've got that plus 30, so you can see here they're actually really useful even when there's not a ranged blob. So this is where I think I'm a huge fan of the siege changes. If you've seen my games, I've been enjoying the siege myself. So yeah, I think this is really nice from Whamen. We can see the men-at-arms are running into the base, but yeah, this is looking a bit precarious for Crispy now. I think he's got to really be careful and mass up with the right units to take this fight. So there's a lot of men-at-arms and lancers. A lot of men-at-arms, I think. The lancers at this stage, I think we just need a front line. We need some palace guards, maybe even, and we need to be massing up. Losing little bits of units here and there, I think, is really what's going to do Crispy in at this stage. Huge amount of food in the bank from Whamen, almost max pop, so we should be seeing a bit more production, I think, and we do see some of these upgrades coming in, the extra fire armor, just in case Crispy gets out of this and starts trying to burn the base down. But here we go. Crispy defending the base, needs to get rid of this siege. These trebs are going to slowly just destroy everything that he has, and if he loses these 3 relics, that's going to be really bad. Whamen, I don't think, oh yeah, she's rebuilt the Regnitz Cathedral, which means she's going to be getting that buff. No tithe barns at this stage, so you know, that's it's not fully rebuilt, that's why. Oh no, so I don't think she's actually getting the extra gold from the relics either, so that's something to always be aware of. And also tithe barns in Imperial, it's just a huge amount of resources. You definitely want that. But this is where I think the production is causing Crispy some problems. Some of the units are running out of the base, some of them running into the base. If we take a little look, if we use my little hotkey, we can see the rally points for the production all over the shop now pulling into the base, whereas if we had safe production here, I think that would be working much better for him. So these numbers starting to build, that this is going to be good, but it's got to be the right units. Whamen just doing HRE things, mass men-at-arms, and oh no, they're getting into the granary transition. The food eco is going to start lagging here. I think Crispy's got to be really careful, and the siege push is coming, the towers coming up and moving the relics into this, and really nice work here from Whamen. Prelate's coming and stealing the relics from the Zhu Xi base and then putting them in towers to destroy the Zhu Xi base. You love to see it, obviously, unless you're Crispy, and then this is not what you want to be seeing. But we can see Whamen is overhit by these proxy buildings that haven't quite been built, and they are getting slowly sieged down from this side as well. More trebs on the outside. We can see the Palace Guard are getting on top of the Trebs and the Mangonels. That's a lot of resources being lost. Whamen trying to micro them out of the way. Men-at-Arms just chilling over here. Maybe trying for a surround, maybe just chilling. We'll have to wait and see. They might just be having a nice little holiday, but here we go. Now they do have the heavy maces, we can see from the animation, so the Palace Guard now are going to be absolutely melted to these guys. Spears, let's not even talk about that. HRE Men-at-Arms don't worry about spears, and with the crossbows they are going to be able to take those out, but Whamen is keeping up that production, and we can also see the emplacements coming in as Crispy calls it. Wow. Action-packed game, some absolute proxy chaos, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But make sure you check out Whamen on Twitch, and I'll see you next time for some more interesting Age of Empires action.